All right. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going to do a deep dive into some Manchester City data.
Some really interesting stuff, yeah.
Especially with this winless streak that they're on, it's a bit of a shock. I mean, on paper, they look amazing.
Yeah, offensively, they still look like a Guardiola team, that's for sure.
Right. They're creating chances like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got some tactical breakdowns and match data here that paints a slightly different picture.
Yeah, no, the numbers tell a pretty compelling story, actually.
Yeah, so let's just get right to it. Big headline here. Manchester City, for the first time under Guardiola, are conceding higher quality chances than they are creating.
Whoa.
So what does that even mean? Explain that to our listeners who maybe aren't like hardcore football stats nerds.
Yeah, so basically when we talk about chance quality, a lot of times analysts are using this metric called expected goals.
Okay.
It's a way to assign like a probability to every shot that's taken.
Right, so based on like location.
Exactly.
Yeah. Angle, all those kinds of things.
Yeah, type of assist, all that. And what we're seeing is that City's expected goals, which is, how many goals they're expected to score based on the chances they're creating, is still really, really high.
Right.
But their expected goals against, the quality of the chances that they're conceding has gone way up.
Yeah, it's like dramatically higher than it's ever been for them. I think last season they were facing an average of like 6.2 shots per game.
Right.
Now it's like 8.7.
Yeah. That's a huge jump.
Huge jump.
And I think the even more worrying thing is that over 74% of those shots are coming from inside the penalty box.
Oh, wow.
Like, you see those graphics on TV where they show, where the shots are coming from.
Yeah.
A vast majority of the shots against City are coming in really dangerous areas.
Okay, and to put that into perspective for people, only two teams in the entire Premier League have conceded more goals from inside the 6-yard box, which is crazy for a team that is, or was known for being so defensively sound under Guardiola.
It's almost shocking to see, You think of Manchester City, you think of this kind of impenetrable wall at the back, but that's just not the case this season.
Yeah. No, it seems like every match I watch, the opponent is just getting these clear-cut chances. They're like strolling through City's defense.
Yeah.
It's so strange to see.
Yeah. And this isn't just a matter of bad luck or, a couple of fluky bounces. This points to some deeper tactical vulnerabilities that teams are figuring out how to exploit.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's get into that then. Let's break it down.
Yeah.
One of the big things that I've noticed, so I'm sure a lot of our listeners have as well, is that the right back position seems to be like a major weak spot.
Yeah, that's a great observation. The right back is definitely where teams are focusing a lot of their attacks.
Why is that? Why that one position in particular?
So teams have kind of they've figured out that if they can overload that side of the pitch, with quick passing combinations, overlapping runs from their wingers, they can really drag City's center backs out of position. And once those center backs are pulled out, it leaves that right back completely exposed.
Okay, so they're kind of isolating the right back.
Exactly.
And
we have to remember, City's high press, which used to be so effective, it's not really working the same way this season, is it?
No, it's not. Teams are actually, kind of ironically, they're using that high press against City now. They're playing these quick, short passes to bypass the press, and that's creating those overloads that we were just talking about.
Right. And another big problem that we saw in the data was their aerial duel success rate.
Yeah, abysmal.
It's like 43.1%, which is their worst since the 2018-19 season.
Yeah, and this really explains why they're struggling so much with crosses, especially those deep crosses that are coming in from the wings.
Right. If you can't win those headers, you're going to concede chances. It's really basic.
Here, you've got this high defensive line that City loves to play. You've got the right back issue.
Yeah.
You can't win aerial duels. It's like it's a recipe for disaster.
Exactly. And then you factor in the fact that they've already used 7 different center back pairings this season.
7.
I mean, come on. Like, how can you build any kind of defensive consistency when you're constantly shuffling players around like that?
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be tough for those players to build those partnerships.
Absolutely. And of course, Ruben Dias's injuries haven't helped.
No.
He's such a key part of their defensive structure when he's healthy, but
yeah. But you mentioned it earlier, it's not just the tactics. It feels like individual errors
Yeah.
are also like really compounding this problem.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you look at that Sporting CP match.
Yeah.
One misplaced pass in midfield and boom, Sporting are off to the races, and it's an easy goal.
It's like the simplest counterattack you can imagine. And it's a goal because City are just so vulnerable right now.
They're so high up the pitch that, one little slip and the opposition is in behind them.
And it just feels like, Rodri's absence in midfield is really hurting them in terms of those transitions. Like, couldn't someone like Fernandinho or Phillips fill that role?
I mean, on paper, maybe, but Rodri brings such a unique blend of qualities to that position. He's got the defensive awareness, the passing range to recycle possession. He's physical, he wins duels, and he breaks up those counterattacks before they even really get started.
Yeah.
Fernandinho, Phillips, they have their strengths, but they don't offer that same level of protection that Rodri does.
And they need that protection desperately.
Yeah.
Because it really feels like they're in a bit of a crisis defensively. I mean, we talked about the expected goals against going up, but they've already conceded 42 quote-unquote big chances this season.
Yikes.
Which, for our listeners, that means those are basically, chances where it's highly likely that a goal is going to be scored. And that's more than all. But the three newly promoted teams...
It's pretty remarkable. It's remarkable.
When you think about the talent that City have at their disposal,
yeah,
you would never expect to see numbers like that.
So to kind of sum this all up, tactical issues, individual errors, key injuries, it's all contributing to this defensive slump. It's a fascinating story, though, isn't it? Because, like we said at the beginning, there's still this incredible attacking force.
Yeah.
Can they fix this before it costs them dearly? What happens?
All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.
Cheers.